All right, guys, so let's dig into the charts. So mainly what I'm looking at here is the relationship between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if we're going to use the Ichimoku system, I'm a big fan of this. I coded my own indicator that will show when we get the Kijun crossing over the Tenken and vice versa. And if you don't know what that means, that's fine. And my internet's just a little laggy here. So what we get here is we see a couple things. First off, I'm on Poloniex right here on their chart just because they have, I think, the most history as far as I can tell, the relationship between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's mainly what I'm looking at. And what you'll notice is we get a little cross here, right? I have these coded so that this pink cross comes up. And last time we got this crossing over, we got the biggest ETH bull run in its history. It went from, gosh, I wish let's look at the USD chart here real quick. Oh boy, sorry, I'm looking at a bunch of stuff here. If we look at ETH, let's just go to Coinbase. And that was last February. So yeah, USD wise, we went from about $10 to above $400. Like I said, massive ETH bull run. And let's go back to the Poloniex chart. And what my point is here is that it seems to me, and other people have been speculating, that Ethereum sort of ends up leading the altsareback bull charge. And what that means is Bitcoin loses its dominance. Basically, a lot of money comes into Bitcoin, and then that money the new money that flows into Bitcoin starts to figure out, oh, wow, there's all these altcoins, and they're gaining massively. Why don't I start investing in them? And that's probably what we're going to be seeing now. So again, here's where this cross happens. And of course, basically this just indicates that we're flipping from a bearish mode here when the Kijun is over the Tenken in this case. And then when those lines flip and we come out of this cloud, that's where we know a trend is confirmed. Typically, obviously anything can happen, but it's a good sign that the trend is changing. And in this particular case, Ethereum is gaining over Bitcoin. And Ethereum is sort of like, if Bitcoin is king, Ethereum has been the queen. And I know just recently Ripple overtook Ethereum. I think that it'll probably be temporary. I think that's driven by a lot of new money that doesn't quite understand what Ripple actually does, and that it's really just for banks, and that banks own the majority of it, and they could manipulate that market if they really wanted to. Sort of eliminates the purpose of cryptocurrency in general, in my opinion. But anyway, getting back to it, we get this giant bull run, right? So February, and where we really start taking off is right around here, about mid-March, and then that lasts until about mid-June. So if we take a look at total market capitalization, right? So what we're looking at, well, first off, let's look at our total market cap for the year. First off, you're seeing that our all-time high market cap is, oh wow, I didn't even notice that. Look at that. So it's about 617 billion here as we creep up to the all-time high. And I guess we actually we're overtaking that right now, the total cryptocurrency market cap. And what the market cap actually means is just that's how much money is in all crypto assets in particular. So my point here was going to be like, I didn't realize we actually broke that, so that's awesome. My point is the all-time high indicated that's, this is where all the new money is coming in. Everybody kind of freaks out over the holidays and sells off. And you saw Bitcoin price go down quite a bit. However, we're not seeing the market cap be affected by that. We're actually breaking that all-time high. So more money is coming in. It's just not being distributed to Bitcoin as much. It's being distributed to all these altcoins. And what does that mean? That means this is a massive opportunity to make even more money as altcoins get start to overtake. So again, let's go back to the, if Ethereum led from, right around here in March, in particular, is what I find really interesting. And right here, it sort of ended around mid-June. And we're seeing that show up here too. See how Bitcoin dominance started to wane, started to go down in March. Ethereum's going up. Ripple had a crazy run. And Bitcoin dominance ends up going down, meaning the percentage of money that's in Bitcoin compared to altcoins went down. And it peaked right here, right when we got to the point where a lot of people were talking about the flippening and that Ethereum was going to overtake Bitcoin. And that's sort of when the altcoin bubble burst, so to speak. And of course, a bubble is just a temporary cycle. These are just market cycles. So again, you can see those things line up pretty well. So secondarily, I want to take a look at the fact that our total market cap, right, is, what you said, 636 billion. And what's Apple? Apple's currently are close to around 868 billion. So my point is, all of cryptocurrency right now, what it's worth is less than one of US-based company's stock, which is pretty crazy. My point is, we're just getting started here. There's lots and lots and lots of room for all these items to gain massively as people speculate their value. So, okay, let's, oops, let me get rid of that. Okay. So, what's my point? We saw Bitcoin stole a show pretty much after that, right? It was all about Bitcoin. Pretty much if you were trading alts, you were getting creamed. I personally was pretty much only touching Bitcoin until the last 2 months or so. You can see alts starting to take off. But here we got this cross again. And remember what I showed you last time? We got this cross. Ethereum went on a massive bull run, and that's when alts went on their giant bull run. And there was so much money to be made. I mean, honestly, this is when I was just getting into it, and it was hard to not make money. Everything was going up. It was a great time. It's just all about making sure you exit appropriately. So, once we see this come out of this cloud, there's a few other items you want to look at for Ichimoku, but this is looking good. This is looking like an early sign. We're also seeing a lot of alts pop off. We're seeing, after the new year, we're having a big green day here. Today is January 2nd, 2018. And I think a lot of people sort of stayed out of the market and just wanted to hang out with their family and enjoy the holidays. And now we're seeing money pour back in. We're seeing Bitcoin's price still consolidating. We haven't gone bear yet. It's possible that Bitcoin will actually end up in maybe a bit of a bear trend or maybe a little bit of a pullback. This is not looking really good. So personally, I've actually put a significant amount of what were my Bitcoin holdings into my Ethereum holdings, meaning I'm placing my bets on Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin. And I think as long as Bitcoin kind of chills out and it doesn't go dip too hard, we are going to see massive gains in the altcoin market. Again, I could be totally wrong, and always keep in mind that Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is the big papa, and whatever he says goes. If Bitcoin goes crazy bear and we get a really bad dump, we could be, that's something to look out for. If Bitcoin just kind of consolidates, or maybe it just grinds down a little bit, I think somewhere around the 8K, this kind of consolidation mark right here, might be a good level. If it comes back down there, it's not, not a big deal. But these big dumps are associated with altcoins losing value too, because a lot of these are still traded in Bitcoin pairs, meaning you can't trade it with USD. You can trade it with Bitcoin. Now that's changing quite a bit, so we're seeing the marketplace mature. But anyway, my point is, we'll see what happens, but I am cautiously getting prepared for the next altsareback cycle. Sorry about that, a little bit of a technical difficulty. Anyway, so be prepared, manage your risk, do your research, and don't just follow people on Twitter and do whatever they say. Do your own research, and let's get prepared for hopefully an altcoin run that's going to make us a lot of money. So, okay, please like this video if you enjoy this content. Please feel free to leave a comment below. I'm really looking to address any questions you guys have. Whoever's showing up here now, whoever my audience ends up being, I'm going to be tailoring my content to you guys. So just let me know what you're interested in. And finally, please hit the subscribe button. That helps me out a lot as I'm just starting out. So everybody, stay safe and let's make some money.